how you can travel for free or cheap, and in today's video we are going to focus on flights and transportations. Today's video, I'm going to share with you how I have been traveling full-time for the last 3 years, 28 countries and 3 continents, and how I have been traveling for free or cheap, and how I've been saving on spending money on transportations. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Saloua. I'm a full-time digital nomad and an online business coach. Alright, so let's dive in. Okay, the first thing I do when I look for a flight, I always use my incognito windows so that way the cookies cannot track me when I can track my computer when I do some research. Because when the cookies are tracking your search, that means the price can go up. The next thing I do when I book a flight, I never book on the weekend, very rarely, unless the price is really low. So I would fly a Tuesday or Wednesday so that way I can save money on flights. Next thing I do, when I do my research, I actually use Google search for my flights, and then I go directly to the website to make sure the flight is still available, and I double check on the website of the airline to see if the price is the same. Then if I don't find anything I'm looking for on Google, then I'm gonna go and use other platform like Skyscanner. I also use Kiwi that I really like, and the other one that I use is actually an app on my phone called Hopper, and between those 3 I actually always find a flight, and to be honest, lately the flights have been a lot affordable, so it's really cool. The next thing I do, if my flight has an overlay somewhere, then I'm actually flying there directly. Let's say if I'm in Chicago and I'm trying to go to Miami, and if I book a flight and the cheapest one get me a layover in Houston, Texas, for example, and I'll just go from Chicago to Houston, and I may spend a week in Houston or a couple of days, and then from there I'll book another flight from Houston to Miami. So unless I find a really good deal that takes me directly to where I need to go, otherwise I don't mind layover, and that allows me to see more places. And in the meantime, if I'm looking for a place, I will do a house sitting gig. TrustedHouse Sitters is what I use, and I'm gonna leave a link down below if you want to know more about this. And honestly, I've done all Europe that way. I will always look at where I want to go next and where does my flight stops. The cheapest one, I'll book a one-way there, and then I'll stay there a couple of days, couple of weeks depending, and then I'll move on to my next location. Of course, you need to have some flexibility and freedom to be able to stay in those places, and that's why working from home or have a remote business is very important, or a lot of money. My next tip for you is I never buy round trips. I always book a one-way ticket. I found out that booking one-way ticket at a time is a lot cheaper than if I just book a round trip. Next tip to travel a flight for free is to simply use your frequent flyer miles. All you gotta do is to sign up with an account of the airline that you use the most, and you just build up miles as you go, and then at some point when you have enough miles, you just use those miles to book your flight, and that way you don't have to pay anything except taxes and fees, but it's not much. My favorite airlines in the US are United Airlines and Southwest Airlines. So Southwest, what I love specifically is the fact that they offer free luggage. Check in your bags all for free up to 50 pounds max, and I think it's awesome because $35 every time adds up. And the second airlines, United Airlines, the reason why I really like them as well is you can actually use your frequent flyer miles with money. What I mean is, for example, let's say you have 12,000 miles on your account, but you want to go somewhere where it costs 24,000 miles. What they allow you to use those 12,000 miles, and then you can put the difference with your credit card, and that's super cool. So I really like that. My next tip is travel credit card miles. So this, I would have to make a whole video on that specifically. So if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comment down below. But technically what it is as you use your credit cards, you also build up miles, and you can use these miles to travel. And if you sign up with a new credit card, often they give you an incentive like 60,000 miles if you spend this amount of money within the next 3 months, and so on. My next one is actually taking the train. Yes, believe it or not, taking the train saves you a lot of money. Now, I haven't really taken the train here in the US because flights have been pretty cheap, but in Europe, this is all I did. I literally take the train everywhere I go. I use this company called Trainline, and on there I just book my flight, and it's honestly very affordable. I think I paid something around 60 or 70 euros to go from Brussels to Berlin. It was very comfortable, and free Wi-Fi, and you can charge your computer and your phone, and it was really, really cool. So, and in Europe you also have the night train where you can sleep in there. I've also done the train in Morocco, and because it's so affordable in Morocco, I was even treating myself to a first class, and it was perfect for me. A lot of people don't think about trains, but honestly it's pretty cool. Another thing going with the train is actually buses. There's lots of buses around that are very cheap. I mean, here in the US, you have the Greyhound, Flixbus, Megabus. I mean, there's tons of buses companies you can take for very cheap. I remember I used to take the bus to go from New York to DC. I think it was 4-hour ride for 40 bucks. I also done the bus between LA to Palm Springs for $20. I mean, you can beat that. You have Wi-Fi on the bus, and it's pretty convenient. So I think the bus is great. My other options to get free transportation or to get around for free, if you are a house sitter just like me, you can actually negotiate a free car in your house sit. And I've done that many, many times over. The only thing you need is to provide your driver's license and make sure you are added to their insurance policy if the insurance requires it. And I think this is a great, great options. Make sure to check out on the application that it has the use of car included. If you want to know more about how to do this, just simply leave a comment down below and I can make a whole video on explaining how to use Trusted House Sitter. Now, the next thing to get around for free is simply biking. Now, you can go major destinations with that, but I've biked pretty much everywhere in Europe. I biked in Berlin, everywhere. I wasn't even taking the train because sometimes biking was faster and easier than taking the train, and it was free. And I also biked a lot in Denmark because in Denmark everybody bikes, so it's very bike friendly. So if you are in a bike friendly city and you need to get around, biking is the best. Most of the time when I did a house sit, I had free bikes, but you can also get the city bike or rent the bike for the month, and that's as low as 30 bucks a month. Next one is to get a travel pass for public transportation. So wherever you go, make sure that you get the monthly or weekly travel pass because it's gonna cost you a lot less than if you just buy a round trip here and there. For example, I'm doing a house sit right now in Chicago, and the weekly pass is only $20, and you can go anywhere you want here in Chicago by train for 20 bucks. But if you do one way on the train, it's $2.50. It's a lot cheaper to take the weekly pass, so I highly recommend that, or even the monthly pass if you're gonna stay there for a month. My next tip is actually working for a car moving company or van moving company. So what it is that a lot of people are moving and they need somebody to take the car from point A to point B, and you can actually get paid for that. Now, it's not a vacation. You have to bring the car by a certain date, but they pay you and you just consider that as an awesome road trip. So let's say you have to pick up the car in Miami and drop it off in Chicago. You got a week to do it. That's awesome. Not only you are getting paid for it, but you get to really enjoy yourself and travel around. There's a lot of companies out there who hire people to do that. I'm not a big fan of road trips. I've done it twice around the US. It was like, so it's too long for me. I don't like it. That's another option if you want to go from point A to point B and make some money on the side. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed these tips. If I missed anything, please leave them down below in the comment section because I will read them. And if you want to learn more about becoming a house sitters or starting your online business and become a full-time digital nomad, let me know. I'm gonna leave the link down below. I have a whole course that covers all of that. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye. Yeah!